That's unbelievable. Well, hello everybody out there in Classified Captures world. This is your old mate Steve, and this is your new episode. So don't you go anywhere, and let's get creeped out. With all this UFO disclosure happening, more footage is surfacing, and it's getting harder to tell what's real and what's not. But in this case, the person who shared it insists this is neither AI nor fake. So let's take that at face value for a moment. What you're looking at are 4 greenish glowing orbs in the sky, each casting yellow beams downward, almost like torches scanning the ground. They move together, but not in any pattern you'd expect from drones or aircraft. The beams feel intentional, like they're searching. Are these 4 separate crafts, one craft with multiple lights, military drones running some kind of operation? No one can say for sure, and that's what makes footage like this so frustrating. You can see it clearly, but you cannot explain it. Those beams aimed at the ground raise one uncomfortable thought. Hopefully, it's just military tech doing its job. Because if it's not, then whatever they were scanning for is probably not something that we want to understand. Speaking of things to be concerned about, we've no idea where this footage came from. It was posted to X, and that's all the context we have, but what it shows is hard to look away from. In the sky, there's this strange blob-like shape with what looks like tentacles stretching outward, and inside it, something keeps glitching in and out like a cloaked object struggling to stay hidden. Whatever is in there does not want to be seen, but it cannot fully disappear. The sound coming from it is thunderous, and even the people watching are clearly unsettled. Some are calling this blue beam technology, the idea that governments can project massive holograms into the sky. Others think it's military tech being tested. And of course, some say it's AI generated. We cannot verify where this video came from, but the reactions on the ground feel very real. So what exactly are we looking at up there? What the hell? Oh my god. How the hell did she survive that? Whoa, my god. That's unbelievable. Whoa. Yeah, that's pretty unbelievable. This is where I'm a true believer that when it's your time to go, it's your time to go. And when it's not, it's just not. You know? This woman was obviously meant to stay alive. She did. You guys know that me and spiders and stuff don't exactly go very well, so I'm not sure if I want to watch this next. Oh, you see, these things creep me out even more, man. Ticks.
Ouch!
What happened?
I think I just got bit by a tick. I don't know.
Lord have mercy.
It's the Lone Star Tick.
Lone
What's
Star
that
Tick. Now, this is the tick that apparently is supposed to make you allergic to meat, right? Now, being a carnivore, this would tick me off. You get what I just did? Yeah. Is everybody gotta be watching out for these things now? I'm sitting here at the moment in bare feet and looking around at the floor going, damn. There are ticks around or anything? Be careful out there, people.
Ouch!
What happened?
I think I just got bit by a tick.
Did it have a white dot?
I don't know.
Lord have mercy.
It's the Lone Star Tick.
What's that mean?
Can make you allergic to red meat.
Shut up.
As of the 25th of May, an active volcano is erupting in the Philippines. It's known as the Mayon volcano, and because of that, there is heavy surveillance around the area. During one of the live feeds, people noticed something strange. Late at night, a glowing object suddenly appeared, streaking across the sky and dropped behind the volcano. At least from that camera's angle, it looked like a meteor or comet, but no one can say for sure. But then something else happened. From that same direction behind the volcano, an orb rises back up into the sky. This is all unfolding while the volcano is actively erupting. Naturally, people started connecting the dots, two major natural events happening almost at the same time. This brings up a past discussion from geophysicist Stefan Banz, where he spoke about solar flares and earthquakes in places like Chile occurring in close proximity. The idea that some of these large-scale events might overlap more often than we think. Now, whether that's what we are seeing here, well, that's unclear, but watching something fall from the sky and then something else rise from the same spot all over an erupting volcano is not something you see every day. Hospitals are one of those places where, if someone claims a paranormal sighting, people tend to listen a bit more closely. In this case, a family had visited a relative who'd just been admitted after a tragic accident. The patient was badly injured, and while they were there, the family decided to take a photograph. At the time, well, nothing seemed unusual. No one noticed anything strange in the room. It was only later when they looked back at the image that something stood out. On the left side of the photograph beside the bed, there appears to be a pitch-black figure leaning in toward the patient as if it's joining the frame. The family was shocked, especially since there was no known death connected to this situation other than the patient, who was still alive at the time. So what exactly is this figure? Some people believe it could be another patient or someone in the room that was missed in the moment. Others think it's something far more unsettling, suggesting it could be a presence drawn to the room itself. But when an image like this surfaces from a hospital setting, it's hard not to pause for a second look. So what do you think is standing there? Speaking of ghosts, this next clip comes from a baby monitor. A mother was watching her toddler after the child started fussing when something on the screen made her stop. Standing near the doorway inside the room is a figure wrapped in what looks like a white cloth. It appears hazy, slightly hunched and slowly moving toward the child. Her first instinct was emotional. She believed it might be her own mother who passed, possibly coming to check on a grandchild. But many people who've seen the footage are not convinced. The posture does not look comforting or protective. If anything, it feels like something drawn to the child's distress rather than trying to soothe it. And as we've seen before on this channel, children often are seen to be at the center of unexplained encounters, but not everything drawn to them has good intent. So when you look at that doorway, what do you see? We all know how much technology is shaping the world we live in. The tools are useful, but if we're honest, they're also taking a piece of our attention, maybe even our humanity, especially for children who are exposed to screens at a very early age. Some people online have even started using a term called digital autism. It's not a medical diagnosis and it's not supported by science, but it's often used to describe children who show behaviors that resemble developmental or attention-related issues after long periods of heavy screen use. And while this is happening on one side, something else keeps coming up on the other. The very people who build these technologies are often far more strict with their own children. Steve Jobs was known to limit his children's access to devices. Bill Gates reportedly didn't allow smartphones until his kids were older. Mark Zuckerberg has also spoken about limiting social media exposure for his family. Whether or not every detail of that is framed perfectly, the pattern people point to is simple. The people closest to the technology tend to be the most careful with it at home. Some studies and observations also suggest that when young children reduce excessive screen time, certain attention and behavioral issues can improve, though research is still ongoing and not definitive. At the core of it, a child's brain is still developing and screens are designed to be highly stimulating. Maybe the real question is not just what screens are doing to children, but what they're slowly normalizing by handing them over too early. Whether we go into the ocean or walk along the shore, humans just cannot seem to keep their hands off the shells we find. Most of the time, it's harmless, but sometimes it's not. Take this for example. What you're seeing is a cockle clam that someone picked up. As it's held, it slightly opens, and a tongue-like structure comes out, moving before it slips back inside. It's strange, almost alien, but is it harmless? That structure is called the foot, and the clam uses it to move through the sand. But this is where things get risky because not every beautiful shell is safe to touch. Some of the most attractive shells belong to cone snails. They often look harmless, even beautiful, with detailed patterns that make people want to collect them. But they carry a hidden danger. They have a harpoon-like tooth that can extend, and they can use it to inject venom. In some cases, that venom can be powerful enough to kill a human, and there is no anti-venom for their sting. It can lead to paralysis and respiratory failure. So yes, the ocean is full of incredible things to see, take pictures, admire them, enjoy them, but if you don't know exactly what you're picking up, it's better to be left alone. The ocean does not exist for souvenirs.
It looks like a fish head.
Oh, look at it, look at it. Ooh.
Oh!
Oh my gosh. What the heck?
Now, let's go back to the UFO situation because this next clip is coming from inside a commercial airplane. A passenger was filming out of the window when something appears alongside the aircraft, something that should not be there. What makes this footage stand out is not what you clearly see, but what you barely see. There's an outline near the wing, a faint shape, almost invisible, but just defined enough to suggest a disc-like object, a saucer-shaped silhouette sitting right outside the plane. And then, as it gets closer, something strange happens. It suddenly accelerates and disappears from view. A cloaked craft at cruising altitude keeping pace with a passenger aircraft is not something that fits into anything conventional we know. Over the years, we've seen similar clips that spark the same debate. Some call them UFOs, others point to military aircraft tech, and now, of course, AI-generated footage has made everything even harder to trust. So when something like this shows up again, the question does not get easier. It only gets louder. Now, what do we have here? Someone was filming during sunset when they caught something unusual in the sky. A strange, twisting, cloud-like formation shoots upward, rising into the air before suddenly bending at the top, almost as if it's run into an invisible barrier. In a normal open atmosphere, you'd expect it to continue spreading or dissolving. Instead, it curves back in on itself. This is where speculation starts to take over. Some point to the firmament theory, the idea that there's a solid or structured layer above the earth that separates what's below from what lies beyond, and it's a concept that appears in some ancient religious texts and has also been discussed in flat earth communities. Others see it as nothing more than atmospheric pressure, wind, shear, or light and cloud dynamics creating an illusion of structure and motion. Either way, what makes this clip stand out is that moment of bending at the top, where something in the sky seems to change direction without explanation. So is this evidence of a hidden structure above us, or just another trick of the atmosphere playing with perspective? Oh, what you eating, kiddo? What you eating, kiddo? I love dogs. I'm one of these individuals that whenever I go to a park, and I go there literally to just scrunch as many doggies that I can, you know? The cutest animals ever. We have a video of a woman who works in a perfume shop, and what she experienced at work is genuinely unsettling. It was captured on a security camera. In the footage, she walks to the glass door, opens it, steps inside, and closes it behind her. Right after that, she begins speaking as if she's greeting and assisting a customer. She moves around the counter, gestures toward different perfumes, and carries on a full interaction. Completely focused, completely calm, like it's a normal customer service moment. Minutes later, a co-worker walks in and asks who she's talking to. And that's when everything changes, because there's no one there. There was never anyone there. She had opened the door for something invisible and spent several minutes serving it like a real customer. What makes this so disturbing is not confusion or panic, it's how normal it looks. She doesn't appear disoriented at any point. She's simply doing her job, fully convinced someone is standing in front of her. And that raises the uncomfortable question. Whatever she interacted with, it did not feel the need to reveal itself. It simply blended in perfectly. So what exactly walked into that shop that day?
Oh, jadi kamu gimana? Bercowok sama cewek? Ini saya ada rekomendasi yang lain ya. Nah, kalau ini lebih segar, kalau yang ini lebih oke untuk ceweknya ya. Jadi cowok itu cewek. Wah, ini. Oh, dari sopo? Masalahnya gue dari sini, aku tuh bukan itu. Terus mereka aku ini kan.
Back in 2000, a little girl got hold of her parents' camera, an expensive piece of equipment at the time that she'd been told not to touch, and she used it anyway. When her parents later reviewed the footage, expecting nothing unusual, they found something that immediately changed the mood. The video quality is poor, but the outline is still visible. Standing there is someone by the window. It appears bipedal, with arms ahead and a neck that looks unusually long compared to a human silhouette. At first, the mother thought it might be an intruder, but after a full check of the house, there was no sign of anyone. No entry points disturbed, no evidence that anyone had been inside. So the question shifted. What exactly did the child capture on camera? The family has never been able to explain it. Some believe it was a case of mistaken shape and poor lighting. Others are convinced it shows something far more unusual, possibly even non-human. One thing that makes it more unsettling is how children behave in situations like this. They don't overthink, they simply observe and record what they see. And whatever stood by that window in 2000, it's remained without an answer ever since. A man filmed the sky and captured something that looks like the perfect hole suspended in the clouds. There's a real meteorological explanation for this. It's called a fall streak hole, or a hole punch cloud. It happens when part of the cloud layer suddenly freezes and ice crystals fall out, leaving a circular gap that can look almost artificial when viewed from the ground. But not everyone stops at the scientific explanation. Some point to discussions around geoengineering and atmospheric research programs, including high-frequency experiments that can heat or disturb parts of the upper atmosphere and create measurable effects. What those kinds of operations look like from the ground, whether intentional or not, is still widely debated. A clean circular gap in the sky is not something most people ever expect to see. So when something like this appears above you, the question becomes simple. Is this just nature doing something rare, or something else that we're only beginning to understand?
Yo, the sky is literally opening up right now. Look at this.
This was captured on the 25th of May 2026 in Florida at around 10 o'clock at night. A woman noticed something in the sky that looked like a comet or meteor coming down, so she started filming. At first, it follows the expected pattern, a bright object descending through the night sky. And then something changes. It splits into multiple glowing pieces, but instead of simply falling as debris, the fragments begin to move independently, spreading across the sky in different directions. Each one leaves behind a trail of light, but they're no longer behaving like a single falling object. Some appear to drift, others move faster, and the paths do not match the idea of a uniform descent. In most cases, meteors can break apart during entry, and fragments can scatter as they burn up. That's a known and well-documented phenomenon. But what makes this clip stand out is the way the pieces seem to act after separation, almost as if each fragment has its own direction for a brief moment. That detail is what has sparked debate around what was actually being seen. So what really came down over Florida that night? A typical meteor breaking apart in the atmosphere, or something that only looks familiar until you watch it closely?
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Is this real life?
This is sick. I'm fucking...
Oh my god, there's one right here too, up above us, up by the building. Do you see it?
Yeah.
Every place carries energy, and it's hard not to notice that the history of a location often shapes how people describe what they feel there. Some places are said to feel heavy, others unsettling, and that's why locations with difficult paths are often labeled as haunted. One of those places is Colonial Williamsburg. It's an area known for its deep historical background, including periods tied to slavery, conflict, and suffering over the centuries. In this case, a visitor took photographs of one of the older houses in the area. At first, everything looks normal. A simple brick structure, nothing unusual in the frame. But in the next photograph, something changes. A dark figure appears not far from the camera. It has a clear outline, with the head and shoulders visible, but the entire form is pitch black. Figures like this are often interpreted in different ways depending on belief. Some see them as paranormal presences, others as shadows, reflections, or visual distortions that happen under certain lighting conditions. Still, the setting adds to the discussion. Places with long and complex histories often attract stories like this, whether through interpretation or coincidence. And in this case, the images left people debating what was actually captured in that moment. Was it just a trick of light in an old historic site, or something that doesn't easily belong in the frame? A passenger filmed this from inside a plane, and what they captured below has sparked a lot of conversation. From the aerial view, you can see what looks like a trail or plume rising from the ground and spreading into the sky, almost forming in clouds. To some, it looks like a kind of cloud creation process happening in real time. Now, cloud seeding is a real practice. It's been used in different parts of the world, including countries like the United Arab Emirates and China, to encourage rainfall under specific conditions. There are also documented efforts and research into weather modification that go back decades. But what people often debate is how far these capabilities actually go and what they look like when observed from above without context. Some also bring up projects like HARP, which is officially a research program studying the ionosphere, though it's often been surrounded by wider public speculation about atmospheric effects. From a passenger's point of view, though, it simply looks like something on the ground is interacting with the sky in a very different way. So the question becomes less about what we're told and more about what we think we're seeing from up there. We've spent a lot of time this year watching things that were once treated as myths slowly enter public discussion. UFOs, UAPs, even government acknowledgements that explain aerial phenomena has been taken seriously for decades. So it raises a wider question. If some of these things turn out to be real, well, what about the rest? Dragons, unicorns, fairies, mermaids, sirens. Where exactly is the line between myth and misinterpretation? This footage claims to show divers underwater wearing humanoid fish-like figures rush toward the camera, human-shaped forms with fins, open mouths, and rapid movements straight at the lens, and it's unsettling to watch. But there is an issue. The footage appears to stutter and the frame rate drops noticeably. That detail alone raises the possibility that this could be CGI or AI generated rather than a real encounter. Still, that's where the debate starts. For years, UFO footage was dismissed in the same way until official confirmation showed that not everything has been properly explained. So the question is not whether this is real mermaid footage, it's how quickly we should decide something like this is impossible in the first place. The pyramids are one of the world's greatest mysteries that have yet to be solved. Nobody knows how these structures were built. Some believe they were constructed using advanced technology, while others think it was some sort of energy that was used to put them in place. Some believe that they were made by giants. Now, take a look at this video. It shows 3 square rocks, one on top of the other, and the top one appears to be rotating due to some unknown force. However, if you look closely at the middle, there appears to be something shadowy that you might miss. It's unclear what this shadowy object is, but it is a well-crafted work that has left many scratching their heads. If it turns out to be something, it could be a significant discovery that could shed light on the mystery of how the pyramids were built. If it is nothing, then how is this happening and what could cause the rotation of the top rock? Next, we've got a banana lying on a table. A hand reaches out to it, and this is what happens. The banana begins to pulsate as if it's alive. This is one of the most disturbing things I've ever seen involving food. What could be going on here? Several theories came to mind. Some suggest it might be an elaborate prank or special effects trickery designed to shock and disturb viewers. Others speculate that the banana could be infested with some sort of parasitic organism or insect larvae, causing it to move in such a creepy manner. There are also those who believe it could be a cleverly edited video using CGI to create the pulsating effects. What do you think could be the reason behind this pulsating banana? The nighttime seems to be the best time for all sorts of weird things to happen and for strange things to emerge. Someone captured intriguing footage while walking by the woods after feeling like something was watching them from the trees. When they turned, they saw a pair of glowing eyes at the tree line, intently observing them. In the dark, The outline of the creature became somewhat visible, revealing what looked like eyes and an obvious snout. It was difficult to determine if that was the entirety of the creature's body or if there was more hidden in the shadows. When this footage was posted online, it sparked a debate with people having different opinions about the identity of the creature. One group leaned towards more familiar animals such as gators, dogs, coyotes, donkeys, and pigs. However, others suggested a more paranormal explanation, noting the eerie vibe the creature exuded. Some speculated it might be a hellhound, while another person humorously suggested it was a Pikachu, and yet another believed it could be a djinn. What do you think about this mysterious encounter? Is it a familiar creature, or do you lean towards a more supernatural explanation? The video footage depicts a bustling cityscape with several high-rise apartments lighting up the night sky. However, upon closer inspection, you can observe that the lights emanating from various windows are of different colors and hues. In particular, one can't help but notice the purple lights. Have you ever wondered why these purple lights are so prevalent in these buildings? Several theories attempt to explain the purpose of these purple lights. One of the most popular ones is that they're used for indoor plant cultivation. Specifically, some people believe that these purple lights are used to grow weeds or cannabis plants. As you may know, plants require different wavelengths of light to grow, and purple lights are beneficial for the growth and development of cannabis plants. However, there are others who speculate about the purpose of these purple lights. Some people suggest they may be used for recreational activities, such as parties or social gatherings, which could explain why they're so abundant in certain apartments. What are your thoughts on this matter? Do you have any other ideas or information that could shed light on the mystery of the purple lights in these apartments? Let's take a closer look at this fascinating feline. As you can see, there appears to be a third eye situated right in the center of its forehead. While this could be a result of a birth defect, it's worth noting that the concept of third eyes holds a special significance in many spiritual and metaphysical belief systems. In certain cultures, the third eye is thought to represent an individual's ability to see beyond the physical world and tap into higher levels of consciousness. Given this context, it's not hard to wonder if this cat is more than just a mere physical being, and if its third eye could be a manifestation of some sort of spiritual energy of power. It captures a disc-shaped craft in the sky floating over the ocean and near a forest. The craft just glided smoothly, its disc shape clearly visible against the backdrop of the horizon. Despite significant technological advancements over the years, we have yet to see a saucer-shaped craft like this in conventional aeronautics. Could this be genuine footage of a UFO? The clarity and distinct shape of the craft have certainly fueled speculation. While some might argue it's an elaborate hoax or a cleverly designed drone, others are convinced this is proof of extraterrestrial life. Share your thoughts on this. Let's take a look at this intriguing image captured by an astronomer. It shows a flash of what looks like fire over the moon, resembling some sort of explosion. Interestingly, the explosion didn't appear to hit the moon, but rather ignited just above the surface. People have made several observations about this phenomenon. The area where the explosion occurred looks dark, but there seems to be a crater there. Some theorize that this was a meteor or asteroid that hit the part of the moon where there was no light, creating the illusion of an explosion above the surface. However, there are others with their own unique takes. Some believe that a mysterious field around the moon caused the impact to occur in such a dramatic fashion. Others even suggest that something or someone on the moon shot at the approaching object, causing it to explode before making contact. What do you think this could be? Recently, a video was captured by someone showing an extraordinary object in the night sky. The object appears to be a large sphere with an invincible appearance. The sphere flickers in and out of view incredibly fast, making it difficult to capture a clear view. The location of the sighting is unknown, and so is the origin of the object. Experts and enthusiasts alike are divided on what this object could be. Some speculate that it might be a glitch in the fabric of reality or some sort of technological malfunction, while others believe it might be a portal to another dimension or a UFO. The video has sparked a lot of debate and discussion, and many are eagerly waiting for more information to emerge on this mysterious sighting. What do you think of the whole thing? This video, recorded, captures a fascinating incident where an individual is seen using a laser pointer to direct a beam of light toward a particular star in the sky. As the laser hits the star, the surrounding stars appear to move and shift before blinking back into their original positions. The person recording the video is convinced that they're making contact with an unidentified flying object. This compelling footage has sparked discussions and debates about the possibility of extraterrestrial life and the potential of communicating with beings from other worlds. You've seen the clip yourself? What do you think? This next image was taken from a monitor. A woman had her sick mother staying with her, needing constant attention and care. Since she was busy most of the time, she set up a camera in the room to keep an eye on her mother. One evening, while glancing at the monitor, she noticed something strange. There was this glowing arm, seemingly ethereal, gently resting on her mother's arm as she slept. The arm appeared almost translucent, with a soft, otherworldly glow surrounding it. It wasn't a part of her mother's body, nor did it belong to anyone else in the room. The woman was understandably shocked and concerned. The glowing arm seemed to be touching her mother with a delicate, almost comforting gesture. Some might say it looked like a guardian spirit, offering a calming presence in a time of need. Others could argue it was a trick of the light, perhaps a reflection or glamour glitch. But what do you think? This video is said to be leaked footage from one of the secret bases hidden around the world. The story goes that someone managed to sneak inside, and what they found is downright eerie. The footage shows rows upon rows of hyper-realistic human face masks. These masks are unlike anything you've ever seen before. Made of silicone, they look incredibly lifelike, almost indistinguishable from real human faces. Every wrinkle, every pore, and even the slight imperfections you'd expect on a real face are there, making these masks appear disturbingly realistic. The camera pans across the room, revealing racks filled with these faces, hanging like some sort of macabre gallery. The sight is unsettling, faces without bodies, just waiting to be worn. What makes this even more bizarre is how advanced these masks seem to be. They go far beyond the silicone masks you might find in a costume shop. These look like they could fool anyone into thinking they were real. It begs the question, what could these masks be used for? Is there a darker purpose behind their creation? The idea that these faces could be worn by someone to impersonate another person sends chills down my spine. If this footage is real, it opens up a Pandora's box of possibilities, from secret agents using them for covert missions to something more sinister like identity theft on a level we've never imagined. What do you think is really going on here? These stones are quite fascinating as they seem to create sparks when they collide with an object. The sparks are bright and fiery and give off an intense energy. It's quite intriguing to see such a phenomenon in action. The one who originally posted it stated that they're special stones from Africa. Someone joked and called it vibranium, but I don't know. The little I know from my comics doesn't show that's the case. We did a little digging around, and it turns out there are stones called flint stones that are capable of things like this that makes us think it could be a type of that. However, this is not confirmed, and further testing will be required to confirm their true composition. Nonetheless, the sparks produced by these stones are quite efficient and could have interesting applications in various fields such as construction, mining, or even pyrotechnics. We would appreciate a full-blown instruction in the comments section. Throughout history, there have been numerous accounts of people claiming to have seen extraterrestrial beings. While many people have tried to depict what aliens might look like, it's still unclear what they do look like. In most cases where people encounter aliens, they tend to capture footage from a distance to avoid dangerous situations. For example, in this particular footage, someone saw an alien-looking creature crouched down at the mouth of a cave in the middle of the night. The creature had a large head and a pair of black, huge eyes that seemed to be staring into the darkness. It appeared to be unaware of its surroundings, which suggests that it might be in a state of hibernation or deep meditation. While I'm not trying to discredit these encounters, it's puzzling why people don't try to get closer and make contact with the entities they spot. Perhaps it's because they're afraid of the unknown, or maybe they simply don't know how to communicate with them. Whatever the reason may be, it's clear that these encounters raise more questions than they answer. What do you think of this? What's going on with these cars? The front hoods are inflated like balloons. I was very confused myself, especially since in one of the clips the person was still driving the car. I thought it would explode, but one commenter said that this was just the car wrapped inflating due to heat. It turns out that the car wrap, a protective or decorative covering applied to the vehicle, can sometimes expand or bubble up when exposed to high temperatures. This creates an alarming appearance of an inflated hood, but it's generally not a sign of an imminent explosion. While it looks dramatic, it's a reminder of how heat can affect different materials on our cars. It's always best to keep an eye on such occurrences and consult a professional if you notice any unusual change in your vehicle. Have you ever seen something like this happen? What was your initial reaction? You all know the story of the crow that wanted to drink from a jar of water, so it puts rocks into the jar to make the water rise. Watch this. Someone captured that same scene, but in real life. Would you look at that? This crow does the same thing. It tries to drink from a glass bottle, but the water is too low, so it picks up pebbles and drops them into the bottle until the water is high enough for it to have a drink. This remarkable footage shows the intelligence and problem-solving abilities of crows. They've often been observed using tools and displaying behaviors that demonstrate advanced cognitive skills. Watching this crow replicate the ancient fable is both fascinating and awe-inspiring. It makes you wonder about the intelligence of animals and how much they understand about their environment. What other surprising behaviors might animals exhibit that we haven't noticed yet? In the video that follows, an unidentified individual recorded a fascinating occurrence in the night sky. The footage shows a glowing entity moving behind the clouds. The person who took the footage claims it to be an angel, but there are different opinions about what it might be. Some believe it could be a UFO, while others suggest that it could be an optical illusion caused by the clouds. The object's movement is smooth and steady, and it appears to be moving in a straight line. Some think it's a spotlight, others think we may have an alien invasion on our hands. If anything at all, this video is an intriguing reminder that there are still many mysteries in the world that we have yet to fully understand. Our final clip was recorded in China in March when the weather conditions were extreme and everything appeared to be covered in ice, creating a scene reminiscent of the Ice Age. The video depicts a deserted landscape where the trees, houses, and roads are all heavily covered in thick layers of ice, giving the impression that time has stood still. The harsh weather conditions have made it difficult for the locals where the clip was recorded to go about their daily lives, leaving the streets eerily empty and lifeless. Despite the beauty of the icy landscape, it's a reminder of the challenges of living in such extreme weather conditions. You know the saying, don't start something you cannot finish. Well, take a look at this footage.
Blue, blue baby, baby blue, blue baby, baby blue.
Two women were performing a fertility ritual in their room. One person had the camera and the other was saying in front of the camera as she recited some incantation and swung her arms back and forth as if she was cradling a baby. As she continued, right behind at her door, a pale head with dark hollow eyes poked its head in and stared right at them before quickly retreating. The woman holding the camera saw this and immediately alerted her friend. They both began to scream in panic and confusion. Did these women just summon an entity during the ritual? The sudden appearance of this eerie figure certainly suggests they may have disturbed something otherworldly. This is why we must be careful when meddling with these types of things. Julius thinks this is ridiculous, but I bet there are some of you who have done stuff like that with strange and unexplainable results or occurrences. Care to share? This creature is the stuff of nightmares. Imagine stumbling upon this giant worm with its menacing teeth. Definitely not your average encounter. The lack of details on its origin leaves room for speculation. Is it a creature from the depths of the ocean, a newly discovered species, or just a remarkable creation of special effects? Regardless, if it's not a man-made prop, encountering such a beast would be a jaw-dropping moment, quite literally. Let's hope it's just a product of someone's vivid imagination, because if not, humanity might just need to rethink its place in the food chain. An individual stumbled upon an extraordinary stone that caught their attention due to its unusual appearance. Upon closer inspection, they noticed that the stone was emitting a fiery glow through the cracks on its surface. This fascinating stone is known as a euprolite, which is a type of volcanic rock found in Michigan's Upper Peninsula. Euprolites are unique because they contain fluorescent sodalite minerals that make them glow under ultraviolet light. This discovery has sparked interest among geologists, rock collectors, and enthusiasts who were fascinated by this remarkable stone. A group of close-knit friends were enjoying a leisurely walk on a path through a dense forest, surrounded by towering trees and the gentle rustling of leaves. As they chatted and laughed, they suddenly noticed something moving ahead of them. At first, they thought it might be an animal, but as the creature came into view, they were filled with intense fear and shock. What they saw was a pale humanoid creature crawling backwards on all fours. Its movements were jerky and unnatural, and its eyes glinted with an eerie intensity. The friends were frozen with terror, unable to move or speak for several moments. When they finally regained their senses, they sprinted away from the creature as fast as they could, their hearts pounding with fear. Now, the question on everyone's mind is, what kind of creature was it? Some have suggested that it could be a mythical creature known as a rake, while others believe it could be something else entirely. Regardless, the incident has left the friends shaken and wary of venturing into the forest again. What do you think? A homeowner was woken up in the middle of the night by a strange tapping on the window. He went to check it out, and this is what he found. A monkey-like creature with wings was tapping on the glass from the outside. The creature had bat-like wings with bright yellow fur around its neck. It looked like it wanted to get into the house, persistently tapping on the glass. The terrified man didn't dare to open the window or investigate further. Some viewers speculate that the creature would be some type of bat, given its wings and nocturnal behavior. However, its face resembled that of a monkey, which is highly unusual for any known species of bat. Others think that this could be a paranormal creature, something out of folklore or myth. What do you think? Is this a rare, undiscovered species, a genetic anomaly, or perhaps something paranormal? Or maybe, just maybe, we had visitors from the Wizard of Oz. They have winged monkeys, remember? A homeowner arrived home after a long day, ready to relax. He was startled to discover something straight out of a nightmare approaching his front door. His eyes widened at the sight before him.
I'm scared!
A clear, slimy substance hung down from above, resembling snail slime but thicker. Suspended from this sticky thread was a strange, shellless creature wiggling about in the air. The creature looked like a snail, yet it lacked the familiar shell. Its body twisted and turned, seemingly defying gravity as it dangled from the slime. Was this a new or rarely seen species? Perhaps it was a type of slug exhibiting some unusual behavior. Julius says it's possible that they're mating snails. Now, I don't know how factual that is because he was not in his element when I asked him. Can any of you confirm this? Also, what would you do if you encountered such a sight? Let us know in the comments section.
Scared!
In a recently recorded video, an intriguing sight was captured. A mysterious creature was spotted hovering through the air, with only its head visible to the viewer. The rest of the entity was completely invisible, shrouded in some sort of cloaking or camouflage. As the creature moved behind a well, another entity suddenly emerged from the ground, adding to the intrigue and mystery of the scene. The true nature of these entities remains unclear, and theories are circulating that they could be a cloaked entity, a ghost, or even an extraterrestrial being. What do you think it could be? Have you ever delved into the intriguing concept of the third eye? While rooted in various spiritual traditions, it's particularly notable in Hinduism, where it's known as the Ajna chakra. This metaphysical eye is believed to reside in the subtle body located between the eyebrows. Unlike the physical organ, it symbolizes insight, intuition, and spiritual enlightenment. In ancient Egyptian mythology, the Eye of Horus symbolizes protection, healing, and royal power, rather than the third eye concept. The Eye of Horus, often depicted as the right eye, was revered for its connection to the sun and moon, embodying the vigilant and protective qualities of the god Horus. Today, the idea of the third eye transcends cultural boundaries, resonating with individuals exploring meditation, self-awareness, and spiritual growth. It's perceived as a gateway to deeper understanding and heightened consciousness, facilitating profound insights into both the external world and one's inner self. So my question is, do you have a third eye? This strange-looking fish was captured by a group of fishermen in Mexico, and it's got everyone scratching their heads. At first glance, it looks like a very flattened frog with an odd, almost comical appearance. But this peculiar creature is actually known as an Odococephalus, commonly referred to as a batfish. The Odococephalus belongs to a group of fish that are bizarre as they are fascinating. With their flattened bodies and limb-like fins, they resemble a mix between a frog and a fish. These creatures usually dwell in the deep sea, where their unusual features help them navigate the ocean floor. Instead of swimming like most fish, they use their fins to walk along the bottom, hunting for prey in the dark depths. Have you ever seen a fish like this before? A man was walking by these lush green plants when he noticed something unusual. There was movement beneath the foliage. It seemed there was a mass hidden under the plants, but it wasn't just static. Something really big was moving beneath the surface. The way the plants shifted and rustled indicated that whatever was underneath had significant size and strength. Could it be a large animal, a hidden mechanism, or something else entirely? The sheer mystery of the situation is enough to pique anyone's curiosity and concern. Just before the clip ends, however, we see something foggy around the area the greens are rustling. What do you think it could be? Our next clip was captured by a home surveillance camera, and it's quite intriguing. In the video, a strange object can be seen flying over the backyard. The object appears to be dark in color with an unusual shape. However, what makes it even more peculiar is the glowing ring around its edges. It's difficult to determine what the object could be. On one hand, it could be a computer-generated image or a hoax created by someone. On the other hand, it could very well be a genuine, unidentified flying object that defies explanation. The video raises a lot of questions and leaves us wondering what the possibilities of otherworldly phenomena could be. In the video footage, an unidentified man can be seen performing an extraordinary feat of strength. The man, who appears to be a driver of a truck, encounters an obstacle on his path in the form of another parked truck. Not one to be deterred, the man gets out of his truck and approaches the parked vehicle. Unfazed by the weight of the truck, he positions himself at the back of the parked truck and proceeds to lift it off the ground with apparent ease. Once he's raised the vehicle to a sufficient height, he expertly maneuvers it into a spot that clears the way for his truck to pass through. It's an incredible display of physical prowess, and one can't help but wonder if the man possesses some kind of superhuman strength or if the footage is even real at all. If it is, this is certainly a feat that would be beyond the capabilities of an average person. A hiker was out in the foggy woods when he started to feel uneasy, so he took out his phone and began to record his surroundings. That is when he found this. There in the fog was a tall, dark figure. As he moved further and looked around, the figure seemed to be everywhere. He didn't know if it was the same figure appearing repeatedly or if there were multiple figures, but it seemed these strange figures were following him. Imagine the fear and confusion in such a situation, being surrounded by mysterious figures in the fog, unsure if it's a trick of the light or something more sinister. The eerie presence and the feeling of being watched would send chills down anyone's spine. What could these figures be? Are they shadows or something supernatural? Back to the subject of portals, someone captured this strange sight while on a plane. We're not exactly told where the person was headed, but it was uploaded as real footage and it's got the paranormal community scratching their heads. Looking at the clip, it looks like some translucent circular contraption. The individual who uploaded it insists it's an interdimensional portal, even though we see nothing coming in nor going out through it. A number of individuals who saw the original post stated they believed it was true. Others also expressed skepticism and gave sarcastic comments teasing the USA for being the country to experience a number of these incidents. Now you guys see the clip. What do you also think about it? Recently, I came across a video that has left me intrigued. The video shows what appears to be an underground fungus growth in Milan. The footage includes images of dead rats that have growths on them, which is quite alarming. However, some people have pointed out that the images may have been generated using computer graphics, which casts doubt on the authenticity of the video. Despite the conflicting opinions, this video has sparked a lot of discussions, with people trying to determine the veracity of the claims being made. Some believe that the fungus is real and represents a major health hazard, while others think that it's nothing more than a hoax. What do you think about this video? Do you believe that there is real fungal growth in Milan, or do you think that it's all just a computer-generated hoax? While walking through the forest, an individual came across a set of skeletal remains that immediately caught their attention. Upon closer examination, they noticed the remains were not like anything they'd ever seen before. The bones were of a strange shape and size and did not resemble those of any known human or animal species. Intrigued by this discovery, the person carefully studied the bones, taking note of every detail. They noticed that the bones were missing certain features that would be present in a typical animal-human skeleton. This absence only adds to the mystery of the remains and leaves you wondering what they could be. As they pondered the possible origins of the bones, their thoughts turned to the idea that perhaps they were of extraterrestrial origin. However, this idea seemed far-fetched, and they began to consider other possibilities. Could these remains be evidence of a new undiscovered species, or could they be the remains of something more sinister? I've seen some pretty large animals in my day, but nothing could have prepared me for these horns. These have got to be some of the largest horns out there, and believe me when I say there are some species of cows or bulls that have such large horns. In fact, some cultures breed some of them purposely to show off their horns or see how big they can get. Now, you know there was no way today's episode was going to end without our bonus segment coming up, right? So could you find out what exact species this bull is and what country it comes from? If you believe you have the answer, you know what to do. Type it in the comments section with one unique fact about this big boy right here. Remember to start your comment with the word bonus. May the best human win. Next, we've got a clip someone sent in that he had allegedly recorded from the daily news in his region. Let's take a look at it together. What would you call this? Aaron, our conspiracy theorist, took one look at it and screamed, "Superbug." Now, when he said it, I couldn't help but laugh. I mean, the very idea of a superbug is amusing, but then again, you can't really blame him for thinking that, can you? I mean, look at the thing. Have you ever seen a bug that large? Now, I tried to do some research online to find if something like this has been reported in any part of the world, and try as I may, I found nothing. Naturally, I started to suspect this wasn't real. It definitely had to be a CGI creation, but then again, it could be the skeptic in me being loud. What do you guys think? Do you believe the concept of a mobile phone was laughable years ago? And no, I'm not kidding. Take a look at this newspaper that was published as far back as the 18th of April 1963. Speaking of dates, comment on the date you're watching the video. We'd want to see how many of you were actually watching this on the 18th of April. We'll capture all of the 18th of April comments and post them with our videos after the 18th of April. Back to what we're discussing, the idea was laughed at and called unreal. Today, not only can we make calls through mobile devices, but they're essentially smarter than NASA's computers back in the day. Talk about a mix of prophecy and scientific innovation. Can't wait to see what their future holds. Late one night, a group of men were camping in the mountains of Turkey when they noticed something strange up on a nearby hill. As they peered into the darkness, they saw a creature with glowing eyes. Even though the surrounding area was shrouded in darkness, they could make out that it had a pair of horns on its head. The creature appeared to be stalking them, and they couldn't shake off the feeling of unease that crept over them. It's difficult to say what kind of creature this could be. Some people have suggested that it might be the legendary Goat Man. Others speculate that it could be a completely different kind of creature altogether. What do you see? Enjoying the episode? Kindly hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't done so already, so we can keep bringing you more clips like this. Done? Well, let's continue with the day's episode. I've come across conversations about frequencies and how essential and influential they can be, specifically how certain frequencies in music we listen to can affect our mood and overall well-being. Recently, I discovered some intriguing information about a particular frequency known as the miracle tone or love frequency, which is at 528 Hz. According to proponents of this frequency, when it's played, it can reconstruct human DNA and repair it to a perfect state. This process is believed to provide clarity of mind, inner peace, and even physical healing. These types of frequency tones or music are called healing tones. The 528 Hz frequency in particular is often referred to as the DNA repair frequency. It is said to resonate at the core of everything that connects to our heart, spiritual essence, and divine harmonica. Some people believe that listening to music tuned to this frequency can help promote healing and transformation on a cellular level. Is this accurate and legitimate? Well, it's hard to say. Different frequencies are associated with different perceived tones and pitches when heard by humans. There is some scientific evidence that certain sound frequencies can influence brainwave activity and have psychological emotional effects when listened to. However, many of the specific claims made about the impact of individual frequencies like 528 Hz on biological processes like DNA repair are controversial and not universally accepted by mainstream science. Would you give it a try? Considering all the weirdness and stress in the world, this might be a simple yet powerful way to enhance our well-being and find some much-needed peace, or a complete waste of time. Who knows? Take a look at this footage, captured in the middle of the woods by a late-night adventurer. On the forest floor lay a grotesque creature. It lay still with its arms crossed over its chest. The creature was pale, with long white hair cascading from its head and a single long horn protruding from its forehead. It appeared lifeless on the ground. The creature resembles something out of a dark fairy tale or a mythological cryptid. However, when the footage was posted, many people in our paranormal communities were skeptical, suggesting it was just a costume rather than a genuine cryptid. What do you think? Personally, I can understand why they think that, since this is one of the least convincing cryptids we've ever featured on this channel. But what are your thoughts? Is this an actual encounter with an unknown creature, or is it just an expertly crafted prop meant to deceive? You tell me. This next one shows an unusual creature with a horned head emerging from the depths of the water. The footage was shot by an anonymous source, and the location where the incident occurred remains unknown. The creature appears to be similar to a dragon, and by that I mean the mythical creature that has been part of many cultures' folklore. Believe it or not, some cultures and individuals believe that dragons did exist in the past, and this video raises questions about the possibility of their existence. The creature's appearance is intriguing, and it presents a striking resemblance to the descriptions of dragons in various mythologies. This footage has sparked a debate among experts and enthusiasts around the world. Some believe that the creature could be a product of CGI, or it could be a hoax. Others suggest that it could be a real-life dragon, and the footage is evidence of their existence. But what do you think of this? Recently in Brazil, a video went viral showing strange light beams appearing in the sky. The footage shows the beams emanating from round lights that were hidden in the sky. The mysterious nature of the lights has led many to speculate that they could be evidence of alien life or UFOs. The video has sparked a lot of discussion and debate among experts and the public alike, with some suggesting that the lights could be a natural phenomenon such as ball lighting, while others believe they're evidence of extraterrestrial activity. The phenomenon has not yet been explained, and it remains a topic of fascination for many. What do you think it is? There's a reason demolitions are done by trained professionals, and our next clip demonstrates that fact exceptionally. Did you see that? First of all, being that close to the structure in this state was risky. Secondly, to bring it down while standing so close to it was also risky. He's very, very lucky to have escaped with no scratch. Whatever you do, never do what this guy did in the clip. You have friends and family that care about you too much for your life to be snuffed out by something like this. Next, we got a homeowner who, after purchasing a house, was doing a second thorough check and came across something disturbing. There was a dent in the roof, and as she looked through, she saw this. Between the cracks, there was a grotesque face staring back at her. It didn't look human at all, and it left her unsettled and quite frankly disturbed. What is this thing living there? Also, she had already bought the house at this point, leaving her with no option but to deal with the unsettling discovery. Imagine the shock of finding such a creature hidden in your home. What could it be? A wild animal? A strange entity? Or something else entirely? What would you do if you found something like this in your home? A group of men were enjoying a leisurely afternoon by the shores of Mexico when they suddenly noticed a strange creature in the water. The creature was partially submerged and its body was partly visible on the surface of the water. Upon closer inspection, the men noticed that the creature had a unique appearance which made it stand out from any other creature they'd seen before. The creature had a smooth body and it was around 2 feet long. Its head resembled that of a seal with a pointed snout and large black eyes. The body, however, was much flatter than that of a seal, and it had a distinct pattern of black on its back. The men were unsure what type of creature they had encountered, and they debated among themselves. Some of them believed it could be a sea turtle, while others were convinced that it was a leopard seal. They continued to watch the creature as it made its way through the water, trying to catch a glimpse of any other distinguishing features. What do you think this creature could be? The video footage in question showcases a craft that appears to be defying the laws of gravity. Despite our understanding of how gravity works, this video raises various questions. The camera inside the craft zooms in on a bottle of water and the cup that has been placed on the dashboard. When you look outside, it seems as though the craft is moving downwards and then upwards. There is even a point where it looks like the craft is rotating. However, the cup and the bottle remain unaffected by these movements. To add to the mystery, the person inside the craft proceeds to pour water into the cup. Despite the craft's movements, the water flows straight into the cup and doesn't spill out. According to our understanding of gravity, this doesn't make sense. However, Julius, our resident in-house scientist on all things paranormal, states that there is something called the centrifugal force that could explain what's happening here. This force is created when an object moves around a central point and can cause objects to move in a circular motion. The craft may be rotating in a way that creates centrifugal force, which is strong enough to counteract the effects of gravity on the cup and bottle. He also adds that the plane isn't moving fast enough, which could only mean that the individual is in a simulator, but you guys tell me what you think. A man was at a dam when he noticed something unusual, a set of 3 fins cutting through the surface of the water. At first glance, they looked like the fins of a fish, but their sheer size and location raised some serious questions. How could fish that large have ended up in a dam like this? Some people argue that these fins belong to a group of large fish, somehow finding their way into the dam. Others, however, believe that there's something far more intriguing and possibly more dangerous beneath the water. Could it be an undiscovered aquatic creature, or maybe even something from the deep that has ventured into unknown territory? Hard to say, but what do you think? Next, we've got footage that was taken by a tourist who had visited Thailand back in 2022.
That? What is that? Yeah, what's that? What is that?
They went biking through the woody mountains and had to walk part of the way to reach one of their destinations. In the video, you can see one person walking ahead of the person filming. When they got to the top, they set the camera down, and that's when the camera guy noticed something among the trees. They went to investigate but didn't see anything. However, the camera captured a creature. It was a reptilian-like entity that crept out from the bushes and quickly went back into hiding when the men moved closer. You can see its shoulders, head, and one arm it used to climb out. The hands, shoulders, and head looked humanoid except that the body was reptilian and the palm appeared webbed. What could this mysterious creature be? Is it a cryptid, some unknown species, or perhaps something else entirely? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section.
What the f is that? What is that? Yeah, what's that? What is that?
Hospitals aren't the only places where people report eerie encounters. Drivers experience them too. And what you're about to see will send chills down your spine. A truck driver had just returned to base, and as part of the routine, his cabin camera footage was reviewed. That's when they stumbled upon something deeply unsettling. In the footage, a woman was sitting calmly in the passenger seat beside the driver, but here's the creepy part: her appearance was far from normal. Her skin was deathly pale, almost like that of a corpse. She didn't move or speak, just sat there eerily still. The driver appeared completely unaware of her presence, as if she wasn't there at all. There was no conversation or interaction between them. When the driver was called in to review the footage, he was stunned. He insisted that he'd been alone in the truck the entire time. According to him, there was no passenger, no woman at any point during the journey. That's when the realization hit everyone. This wasn't a living person. It was a ghost. This isn't an isolated incident. Drivers, especially those driving late at night, often share stories of strange and supernatural encounters on the road. From mysterious passengers to shadowy figures appearing in the headlights, their experiences are enough to make anyone uneasy. So what do you think? Was this an actual ghost encounter? It's been a while since we've had any footage of a chupacabra, the elusive creature said to resemble a dog but with a sinister twist. It is said to drink the blood of livestock. Take a look at our most recent footage of the creature. This was captured by a man walking home one night. The creature he filmed was four-legged, sitting on the ground with its face buried between its front legs, seemingly engaged in some odd behavior. When you look closely, it doesn't resemble an ordinary dog or even a wild cat. Something is unsettling about its posture and appearance. It brings to mind the infamous chupacabra. Could this strange creature really be the infamous chupacabra, or are we just dealing with the misidentification of a rather common animal? Let's hear your thoughts. The number of unusual sightings in the sky these days is quite strange, if not alarming. Recently, someone shared this intriguing footage of something they captured floating over the ocean. It was a white figure in the sky that resembled a person with their arms stretched wide. The figure looked like a cloud, but there was no other clouds in the sky, just this singular, human-shaped formation. It seems very odd for the only small patch of cloud in the blue sky to be shaped like a person. This led to a lot of speculation. Some believe it could be a holographic projection, but who would be out at the ocean looking up to see this? Others think it could be an actual being in the sky. What do you think? Is this a mysterious being, a clever hologram, or just a peculiar cloud formation? In this next footage, someone discovered intriguing tracks near Meek's cabin by the water. The muddy ground perfectly molded the footprint impressions into its surface. The site where this print was captured is said to be a Bigfoot hotspot. The prints, although seemingly human, have an unusual appearance. They feature a mid-tarsal ridge and a significant girth, unlike typical human footprints. The debate over the existence of Bigfoot has been ongoing for years, with numerous sightings and evidence. The distinct characteristics of these tracks could point to the legendary creature, but they might also belong to someone with an unusual foot structure. So are we looking at a Bigfoot track, or are these just the prints of a human with oddly shaped big feet? In Kyoto, Japan, researchers at the ATR Computational Neuroscience Labs have developed an incredible device that can record and display your dreams like a movie. Imagine waking up and being able to replay the vivid scenes, strange landscapes, or cryptic messages from your dreams on a screen. The technology works by decoding brain activity during sleep and translating it into visual representations. By using MRI scans and advanced algorithms, this device taps into the brain's visual cortex, attempting to reconstruct what a person sees while dreaming. Although still in its early stages, the device has shown some remarkable results, producing images that closely resemble what the person recalls from their dream. So what are your thoughts? Should we delve so deeply into the contents of our dreams, or are some things best left to the mysteries of the subconscious? UFO sightings have been ramping up like never before. It seems like every single day there's a new sighting being reported, and things are starting to get out of hand. Take this clip for example. A man noticed an odd-looking cloud in the sky. It wasn't just any cloud. It looked as though something had put a blurry filter on it. But this is real. No editing is involved. Some are speculating that this could be a cloaked craft hiding in plain sight. In another clip, someone captured a rectangular object just hovering in the sky, rotating slowly as it floated in the spot. These sightings are happening so frequently now that it's getting a lot of people on edge. Could this be building up to something big? Could the UFO announcement be coming sooner than we think? What's really going on here? Snakes are animals that come in all shapes and sizes. Some are very small, some are big, while others are gigantic. In a remote location, a group of men arrived at a farm one morning and made a startling discovery. They found a 30-meter-long shed skin of a snake. The sight of such an enormous snakeskin left them in awe, contemplating the sheer size of the snake that had left it behind. This incredible find raises numerous questions. What kind of snake could have shed such a massive skin? Could it be a reticulated python known to grow to extraordinary lengths? Or perhaps it belongs to an anaconda, one of the largest snakes in the world. The discovery of such a large shed skin hints at the presence of a truly gigantic serpent, one that might still be lurking somewhere nearby. If I were him and this clip was truly real, I'd engage the services of animal control or relocate. A snake of that size will make a meal of me in no time. What about you? What would you do? If you thought that was strange, here's another strange floating object that was shared on our paranormal platforms. This time, it wasn't a dark entity, but an oddly shaped white thing twirling right above the ground. This object was seen near a light pole, seemingly dancing in the air. There was no indication of wind blowing, and this thing didn't look like typical debris. So what could we be looking at? Could it be a peculiar type of balloon or a plastic bag caught in unusual air current? Or perhaps it's something more mysterious, an unexplained phenomenon, or even a paranormal occurrence? A man was on a late-night walk with his dog when they came across something deeply unsettling. On the side of the road, they found a pair of small boots that clearly belonged to a child. The man didn't think much of it at first, but his dog's reaction was strange. As soon as the dog sniffed the boots, it refused to leave them, staying by their side and staring intently in a particular direction, almost as if sensing something the man couldn't see. If animals could talk, I bet this dog would have a lot to say. Was it picking up on a scent? Could this be a sign of something that needs investigating, or just a strange coincidence? A man was driving home in the middle of the night when something made him slam on the brakes. What he saw was so unsettling that he immediately pulled out his phone to record. There, standing in the middle of the road, was a figure completely still. Its body was slightly turned to the side, not directly facing the car, with its head drooped downward as if it was lost in thought, or worse, lifeless. It appeared to be draped in a layered robe, giving it an eerie, otherworldly vibe. The man didn't wait around to investigate. Without hesitation, he decided to change his route and get as far away as possible. What do you think that could have been? A spirit or a stranded traveler?
Get closer to it.
A man was driving out of a parking lot when he noticed something unusual in the sky. Intrigued, he parked his car and zoomed in with his camera. There it was, a UFO hovering in the sky. Unlike the animated footage we're used to seeing, this one looked like the real deal. The object wasn't moving very fast, and it was drifting slowly across the sky. The slow and steady movement of the UFO made the sighting even more compelling. This isn't a quick flash or a blurry speck, it's clear and deliberate. Could this be genuine evidence of extraterrestrial activity?
Allá anda atrás del árbol un ovni. Lo miramos y se anda escondiendo y ahí anda jugando atrás del árbol. Mira. Oye, va para arriba. Ay, papá. Ya subimos de la lámpara, ya subimos de la lámpara.
This footage, taken in Mexico back in 2015, captures a curious and unexplained sighting. A group of men were hanging out at night when they noticed something unusual in the sky. Intrigued, they zoomed in on the glowing object, and what they found left them puzzled. The object was unlike any regular UFO or drone they had ever seen. It appeared to be a rock-like structure, but it didn't have a defined shape. Instead, it was irregular and oddly shiny, casting an eerie glow as it hovered in the night sky. The object's appearance was far from what one might expect from a typical aircraft or drone, adding to the mystery. What are we really looking at here? Could it be some unknown technology, or perhaps a natural phenomena that's yet to be explained? Share your thoughts. What do you see when you look at this? Doesn't it look like one side of the sky is day and the other side is night? That's not supposed to be possible now, is it? Aaron, our resident conspiracy theorist, was convinced this had to be some superpower paranormal activity, but once he said that, Julius, our science geek, just gave him a disapproving look. Once we saw that, we knew we had to do further research that led to some rather interesting findings. Science apparently calls this the race to pressure zones passing by each other. It refers to a meteorological phenomenon where two areas of differing atmospheric pressure, often a high-pressure zone called the anticyclone and a low-pressure zone called the cyclone, move past each other. This can create a striking contrast between weather conditions, making one side appear brighter like day and the other darker like night. Who knew? No, that's not a movie set, and those aren't mannequins or dolls. They're real skeletons of real people that were intentionally left out there like that. It turns out that this is this tribe's way of honoring their dead. I know different people have their cultures and we ought to respect them, but I'm curious. Would you want to be put for display once you pass on, or would you prefer to be buried the traditional way? We all know that the king of pop, Michael Jackson, passed away in 2009. However, there have been rumors that he might not actually be dead and that his death was a lie. Take a look at this footage. The ambulance that was supposed to have taken his body wrapped in a white sheet on a stretcher was secretly filmed by a fan at another building. Instead of wheeling out a body, the man is seen guiding a smaller person out of the van and in the building. And that's not all. After his death, a man named Dave appeared on TV, and his voice sounded eerily similar to Michael Jackson's. Take a listen.
And there were all these Paul McCartney records all over this, The Girl Is Mine, and, this and that. 13 solo albums, solo appearances on TV shows. And there were all these Paul McCartney records. But of course you always feel things.
Hear that? Yeah, very similar. Michael Jackson was known for his exceptional skill in disguises because of how people would swarm him whenever he went out. He often wore elaborate disguises that were incredibly convincing. He was a master of disguise. So what do you think? Did Michael Jackson fake his own death to gain freedom, or is this theory too extreme to believe?
Begin to ends.
A man was driving at night when he noticed something alarming. Ahead of him, a small four-wheeled cycle was moving along the road. But it wasn't just cruising, it had something attached to the back that was spewing fire onto the side of the road, which bordered a forest. As the man continued to drive, you could clearly see a line of fire trailing behind the cycle, setting the base of the woods ablaze. The person on the cycle kept going, leaving a long, burning path in their wake. The sight was shocking, and the first thought that came to mind was arson. With so many forest fires occurring without any clear cause, this scene looked incredibly suspicious. One commenter, however, suggested a different explanation: a ditch burning. For those unfamiliar with it, ditch burning is a controlled method used to clear vegetation or debris, often on the sides of the road or fields. It's typically done to prevent larger, uncontrolled fires by eliminating potential fuel for wildfires. But even if that's the case, the way it was being done here at night, with fire spreading into the forest, seems reckless and dangerous. But what do you guys think? Is this a case of controlled ditch burning gone wrong, or is there something more sinister at play? I will be reading your comments.
What the? What is that?
And just like that, we're back at the Appalachian Mountains, where a hiker allegedly encountered a massive Bigfoot. While this is certainly not the best quality clip we have seen on alleged sightings of the big guy, this particular one does seem to have a large number of individuals believing it's real. Now that you've seen the clip, what do you make of it? Do you also think it's real, or are we looking at it with a lot of skepticism like Julius is? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments section.
What the? What is that?
¿Qué es eso? ¿Qué es eso? No manches, no, corre.
A cowboy was out on his horse in the middle of the night, heading deeper into the woods to round up the rest of his herd that had wandered off to graze. The night was unusually quiet except for the sounds of hooves on the dirt trail. But then something changed. He heard strange noises coming from behind the bushes nearby. The sounds weren't like anything he recognized. They weren't the usual yips or howls of coyotes. No, this was different. It was low, unsettling noises, almost as if whatever was out there was mimicking an animal but not quite getting it right. A chill ran down his spine as he realized something was watching him. Despite scanning the area, he couldn't see anything. What do you think was out there? A skinwalker?
¿Qué es eso? ¿Qué es eso? No manches, no, corre.
What do we have here? Someone trying to pick up this strange-looking creature on the muddy ground with a pair of chopsticks. The creature was sandwiched between the sticks, but as soon as he tried to lift it, the creature vanished from the spot and appeared in another position, almost as if it had teleported. Well, this intriguing creature is called the mudskipper. Mudskippers are fascinating amphibious fish known for their ability to move and survive both in water and on land. They use their pectoral fins to walk on the muddy surfaces of their habitats and their unique appearance and behaviors. While it may seem like the mudskipper teleported, it's actually a combination of its quick, agile movements and its ability to blend into its muddy surroundings that creates this illusion. There are many unexplained things that we've come across that sometimes defy explanation. People often create conspiracies in hopes of making sense of these strange phenomena. Take a look at this footage, for instance. A hand holds up this freaky-looking fish. The fish has two mouths. Yes, you heard that right. Two mouths, one on top of the other. Both mouths were wide open, giving the fish a bizarre appearance. To add to the strangeness, the fish also has 4 eyes, 2 on each side of its face. This footage has raised a lot of eyebrows. Some suggest it's simply a deformed fish, perhaps the result of conjoined twins that didn't fully separate. Others believe that environmental factors, such as pollution or chemicals in the water, could have caused this deformity. There are also those who think this might be some kind of experiment gone wrong in a lab, leading to this unusual creature. What do you think? Late one night after heavy rainfall, a resident was jolted awake by the eerie sound of a woman wailing through the neighborhood. Curious and a bit unsettled, she went to her window to check. What she saw sent chills down her spine. There, a few houses away, was a woman walking slowly through the neighborhood, crying out loudly into the night. The unsettling cries didn't just disturb the residents, they triggered the neighborhood dogs, who began barking and howling in response, amplifying the eerie atmosphere. Could this be La Llorona? If you're new here, La Llorona is a weeping woman of legend. She's known for wandering and wailing in the night, searching for her lost children. Many claim to have seen her, especially after a rainfall. Could this sighting be linked to her? This next footage I'm about to share with you is hands down one of the scariest things I've come across so far. Okay, well, maybe that's a bit of an exaggeration, but you get the idea, right? It was recorded by a man who was taking a walk near the edge of a forest not too far from a graveyard, and what he captured will send chills down your spine. Take a look.
Holy
There are terrifying screams, screeches, and cries coming from the direction of the graveyard. And if that wasn't unsettling enough, the commotion triggered dogs from all over the area to start barking and howling in response, as if the entire forest was on edge, reacting to whatever was happening there. I don't know about you, but this gave me chills. It's like the kind of noise you'd imagine coming straight out of the depths of hell. After a while, the sounds eventually stopped, just like that, leaving behind an unsettling silence. What do you think is going on here? Could this be something supernatural?
Holy
What would you do if you returned to your locked car and saw a pair of glowing eyes staring back at you through the window of the passenger side? A man found himself in exactly this situation late one night, and it was an experience he won't soon forget. As he approached his car, he noticed something peculiar inside. On the passenger side, a pale face with glowing eyes appeared briefly, staring intently at him. Before he could fully comprehend what he was seeing, the face vanished as quickly as it had appeared. Understandably shocked, he cautiously opened the car door. To his bewilderment, there was no one inside. The car was empty, with no signs of the eerie visitor he had just seen. The incident left him deeply unnerved. If it were me in that situation, I'd probably leave the car right there and opt for a taxi or an Uber home. The thought of driving off after such an encounter is just too unsettling, and honestly, getting the car exorcised or blessed might not seem so far-fetched after an experience like that. Because really, what on earth was that thing? What would you do in this situation? Share your thoughts and reactions. These days, there are many things coming out that makes me question if everything we know about the world and the earth is even true anymore. Take a look at this footage. A man was taking a video of the moon in the sky, and as he zoomed in, something strange happened. The moon looked like it was a kite, and then its shape glitched out. The color also shifted to a shade between pink and red. Wow. Now, is this even possible? We all know that the moon is round, but sometimes appears crescent when there is a shadow over part of it. So what is this odd shape in the sky? This makes you wonder if all the talks about a matrix world are real. It's unsettling to consider the possibility that our perception of reality might be manipulated or incomplete. What do you make of this footage? Our next clip starts with a man standing on a highland overlooking a river. As he gazed down at the riverbank, something caught his eye. A dark figure was moving along the water's edge. The figure had the shape of a person draped in a robe, but it was translucent and unnaturally dark, darker than a typical shadow. Shadow people are mysterious entities that appear as dark, shadowy figures, often resembling human shapes. They aren't tangible, and much like ghosts, they give off an eerie, almost spectral presence. Some believe shadow people are spirits or interdimensional beings, while others think they're manifestations of our fears. What do you think? Could this shadowy figure at the river have been something supernatural? This footage was shared by a man who went hiking in the woods. In the video, he zooms in on a particular tree, claiming to have spotted a baby Bigfoot nestled among the branches. Honestly, I'm not seeing much in there myself, but what do you all think? Do you notice anything unusual in the tree? Sometimes it's easy to miss those things at first glance, but maybe someone else can spot something. Let us know if you see anything that could resemble the creature he's talking about. This video was taken in China back in June 2024. A Chinese commercial space company named Space Pioneer was testing out a rocket. Unfortunately, things did not go as planned. The rocket detached from its stand and 50 seconds after it was launched came crashing down on the mountainside. Luckily, there was no casualties. Incidents like this highlights the risk and challenges involved in space exploration. While unfortunate, it's a reminder of the complexity and danger of launching rockets. Each failure, though costly, provides valuable lessons for future endeavors. What do you think about the risks involved in space exploration? Do the benefits outweigh the potential dangers? Let us know your thoughts in the comments.
The ice starts to go from smooth to starting to break up here.
Like, where are we right now? What planet is this? Just take a photo picture. I like how that Earth is meeting the glacier. See that interesting shape?
Oh wow, yeah.
Making?
Just mesmerized. I've never seen terrain like this.
It's so insane, isn't it? How? Because this is right at the edge of it.
These two guys shared a video of themselves allegedly flying over the forbidden icy walls of Antarctica. Take a look. It's just ice as far as the eye can see, stretching out endlessly beneath them. But as captivating as it seems, most viewers aren't buying it. The skeptics were quick to weigh in. One commenter said, "Although I'd like to see Antarctica from this view, I'm pretty sure these guys are in Alaska." Another added, "This is not behind the ice wall, lol. This looks very much like the Alletschlechte in Switzerland." But here's the twist. Some believers argue that this skepticism is exactly what they want. By discrediting videos like this, they say the truth stays hidden in plain sight. Could it be that these guys are onto something, or is it just another case of mistaken geography? So what do you think? Also, did I say the name of the place in Switzerland right? Because to me it sounded like complete gobbledygook. Maybe someone can give me a pronunciation in the comments section.
Then the ice starts to go from smooth to starting to break up here.
Like, where are we right now? What planet is this? Just take a photo picture.
On October the 13th, 2024, there was an alleged UFO crash landing in Washington, D.C., and someone's Ring camera captured the event. In the footage, you can see a strange craft descending from the sky, only to disappear behind a tree as it falls to the ground. On that day, several people in the area reported seeing a UFO in the sky, but there wasn't much official information released about what had happened. Some witnesses initially thought it was a meteor crashing to Earth, but after reviewing the footage, experts have pointed out that it doesn't seem to behave like a meteor at all. Instead, these experts suggested that what was captured was some type of craft, not a natural object falling from space. This mysterious sighting has left many questions unanswered, and with the lack of official commentary, it's fueling a lot of speculation. Was this an actual UFO crash, or is there another explanation that we're not being told about? This next footage comes from Canada. Some tourists were enjoying a boat ride on the ocean near Dent Island when they noticed something strange in the water. Right in the middle of the ocean, they spotted a whirlpool forming, swirling rapidly and creating a powerful pull down into the water. Their boat drifted a little too close to comfort, and the sheer force of the whirlpool became apparent. It was a tense moment as they tried to steer clear of the hull that seemed to be sucking everything down. Whirlpools like these can be dangerous and unpredictable, especially for smaller vessels. What would you have done in their situation? I'm going to need a scientific explanation for this next one. In the clip, a girl turns on the tap in the kitchen sink, and as the water flows, she places an egg under the running water, leaves it there, and it just floats. How is this even possible? Normally, an egg would sink to the bottom of the sink due to its density. However, in this footage, the egg remains suspended in the stream of water, seemingly defying gravity. One possible explanation is that the force of the water creates a balance with the weight of the egg, allowing it to float. The continuous flow of water may be generating enough upward force to counteract the egg's natural tendency to sink. It's safe to say I'm no Julius because I do not know what I'm saying. What do you think is happening here? Could it really be a simple physics trick, or is there something more at play here? This video was taken from a security camera set up in the living room of a house. The homeowner was just casually reviewing the footage when he noticed something odd. Take a look at it. Did you see that? There on the left side of the table, a ghostly figure just walked by. It's so transparent that if you didn't look closely, you might have missed it. Now, what's intriguing is that the homeowner mentioned he'd never experienced any paranormal activity in his house, even after discovering this footage. So what could this be? Was it just an entity casually strolling through the house? I mean, they say that entities are all around us, we just can't see them. Could this be one of those moments where the veil between our world and theirs briefly lifted? It's eerie to think about the possibility of spirits or entities moving about, unnoticed in our daily lives. What do you make of this? A man was in his room when he noticed something strange on the wall right at the corner of the ceiling. Somehow, there was a shadow figure, like a small human, hanging upside down and moving on the wall. At first, he thought it was just a stain or a shadow, but as it moved, it became clear that this was no ordinary mark. It was something else, something alive. But what kind of entity could this be? The individuals on our paranormal platforms can't seem to agree on what this might be, but do you have an idea? A homeowner was shocked by one of the security camera recordings he reviewed. Take a look at the unsettling footage. In the dead of night, a strange creature emerged from the darkness, walking toward the car before vanishing again into the shadows. The creature had pale skin, and its face appeared almost skeletal, with large, dark hollows where its eyes should be. Its movements were slow, with a noticeable limp. Many are speculating that this could be a skinwalker, while others believe it's a different type of cryptid altogether. What do you think this could be? The Grim Reaper, a figure steeped in myth and legend, is often depicted as the personification of death itself, appearing in various cultures with his signature scythe and black robes. But does such an entity truly exist, or is it merely a product of human imagination and folklore? Recently, footage surfaced depicting a dark-robed entity floating in the night sky, prompting speculation about the existence of the Grim Reaper. While this figure lacked the notable scythe typically associated with the Grim Reaper, the eerie atmosphere it exuded led the poster of the footage to believe that they had captured the legendary entity on camera. So what can we make of this encounter? Could this dark-robed figure truly be the Grim Reaper, manifesting in our world to claim souls, as myth suggests? Or is it simply a trick of the light or a case of mistaken identity? The Matrix isn't the only subject that makes me question reality. Recently, there's been a surge of sightings of fairy tale creatures in real life, blurring the lines between myth and reality. People are sharing footage of gnomes, dragons, and even fairies. Take a look at this intriguing clip shared by a man who saw something unusual on his way home. Initially, it appears to be a piece of dried wood lying on the ground. However, as the camera zooms in, you can see that this stick has a head and a face with detailed features that are unmistakably lifelike. Its legs resemble those of a grasshopper, giving it an otherworldly appearance. The creature lies motionless on the ground with its eyes closed, giving it an eerie, almost enchanting quality. Is this real, or is it a hoax? Have you ever come across this footage before? A police officer pulls over a young woman for speeding. She asks for the woman's information, takes a card, then turns briefly to her patrol vehicle to run it through the system. When she turns back to continue the interaction, the woman's gone. The strange part is that both the body cam and the dashboard camera reportedly captured the same sequence from both angles. The woman is visible inside the car and the officer is standing right at the driver's window. There's no visible moment where she opens the door, steps out, runs, or moves away. She's simply there, and then she's not. A stopped vehicle on the side of the road, a police officer a few steps away, and an empty driver's seat. The clip circulated online for a while, but no clear resolution followed. There was no widely known official explanation released about what happened to the woman after the stop. So the mystery remains open to interpretation. Was it a case of edited or misinterpreted footage, a gap in what the camera actually captured, or something people struggle to explain without reaching for more extraordinary ideas? So what would you make of a moment like that caught on camera?
No worries. This is my first time being pulled over.
All right. Can I see your driver's license registration, please?
Yeah.
It's not a big deal.
Here's my license, but this is my mom's car, so...
Where are you headed to where you're speeding and missing stop signs?
I was just headed to a friend's house. It's like literally right there. It's a birthday party. So,
got it.
Not mine, but...
Any drugs or alcohol in the vehicle?
No, of course not.
All right. Sit tight, Sarah. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Your registration is What the?
Sarah?
What the heck? Sarah? 3201.
Have you got any videos? Have you got any pictures? Have you got any stories? Have you got anything that you can give us that we can put on this channel? If you do, send it to us at classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. Your old mate Steve here will stick it up there. And also remember, if you want to shout out, put shout out in capital letters. I can't do every single one of them, so give me a very good reason, because if I did every single one of them, the video would just be shout outs. And we wouldn't see any footage, and that's what Classified Captures is about after all. So do me a favor, put shout out and tell me a good reason why I should shout out to you on this channel. I've been Steve, this has been Classified Captures. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Now do me a favor and share this with as many people as you can. And I'll see you in the next one.